Hello there and welcome to today's Daily Dominion. We have Renaissance base. We have a lot of very powerful Renaissance things. So we have Inventor, Sculptor, and Scepter, which as we know, Scepter Inventor can do some Megaturn things, and Sculptor in combination with cost reduction has some pretty crazy things. Plus with the Scepter interactions. So this would be an extremely fast game. The 5-2 would be very, very good. We don't have that, but that's all right. It's also Canal. I'll bring up the Kingdom. So Canal reduces the cost of cards by 1. Fair won't matter here, most likely. Fair gives you plus buy, but it'll be really hard to spend a $4 buy on Fair here. There's plenty of actions in draw. There's no trashing, but it's almost too fast for trashing anyway. I mean, depending on the trasher, you would get it, but like you would open Chapel if they're a Chapel, but so in Sculptor can gain a card cost up to 4. So like if you've bought Canal, the Sculptors themselves cost 4, so you can gain a Sculptor with a Sculptor, it goes to your hand, gain a set, etc. You can chain them. And the same goes for the Scepters replaying Sculptors. So like Scepter plays Sculptor if you have Canal, or if you have played an Inventor that can gain a Scepter, which can be play the Sculptor, gain a Scepter, chain it all the way. Those two autopile. The Scepter one does not require actions to do. It just autopiles anytime you play a Sculptor and the Scepters cost $4. It's just automatic. The Scepters can be emptied. The Sculptor emptying requires you to have enough plus action either from Mountain Village or from Villagers, or I guess Festival, to play out the Sculptors. So you can gain as many extra Sculptors as you have extra actions once you've done the cost reduction. So those two piles empty quite easily. And then beyond that, the Inventors and the Mountain Villages both are pretty prime targets for being emptied. Both Inventor and Sculptor can be used to get quite a few duchies and or maybe Megaturn a little bit. I kind of don't think you'll have time to really do like a full Inventor Megaturn of like emptying provinces. That seems basically impossible here unless AI does nothing, which isn't, I don't think they'll do. They buy Sculptor and they gain Inventor, so I imagine there's going to be some competition for the piles. I think the real question is whether you take an Inventor on the opening or whether you take a Poacher and try to hit 5. Because you don't necessarily need a lot of Inventors. You need some, but I think I'm going to actually do Poacher. And I can buy an Inventor here. And we do hit... I usually have 6, and normally on a kingdom like this, I would say Artisan is very good. And it's still pretty okay. I just wonder if the time is there here. I think you probably just prefer Sculptors. Buy a Counselor, which I think is going to ultimately be a mistake, but it's I gotta convince I gotta convince Jeff that the log should just show both of these things. All right, so we don't hit. Do we have an Inventor down in there? We take a couple Mountain Villages. It would be nice to buy Canal. They're doing some stuff. I think they're getting a little bit off track, but they're gonna have some threat, so that can be a little worrisome. Okay, we're gonna empty the scepters on this turn, and then probably like buy a council room. So we're gonna get a bunch of villagers here. This is really nice though that we're getting to do this with 10 scepters in the pile, because it does mean that the AI doesn't get any of them. Okay. We don't have multiple buys here, so really the scepter can replay Inventor or Sculptor, and it doesn't matter a whole lot. We're not going to get a gold, for instance, and play it. Well, we can't get a gold. We're not going to get a silver and play it. So we can just play the Inventor. And we can either do double council room. Is probably pretty good. Really the only thing we're trying to do next time we draw is hit. It might be good to have a second Inventor, but we can gain that with Sculptor. I think I like double council room. Let's see what the AI draws us here. So now the question is, do we trigger this shuffle by playing a council room and try to go for the big thing? It does get these 3 cards out, which is kind of nice. We can't really use the replaying here. I don't think they have the gains to necessarily worry about the 3 piles. I don't think so. They're not like a million miles away from it, but... So I think we go Mountain Village Council Room. Now we unfortunately whiff on the... We've whiffed here a little bit. So I'm a little scared. I think I'll get a cellar. And then maybe we just buy a province. I was thinking we'd get some duchies, but maybe you just buy a province. Because the duchies could potentially get lowered. We still cannot find the mountain village to save our lives, which is going to be problematic. We've bottom decked, I think, like 3. This is not so far away from piling, except that the poacher discard. Okay, here, this will make it. That was actually really scary. 3. Trying to think if we take the... If Inventor is enough. Yeah, it's just barely enough. We just had a really bad bottom deck this shuffle. What can you do? Because if we find Mountain Village anytime earlier, we pull a council room out. Anyway, this is in hand, so we're gonna Inventor for an estate. And then Sculptor for 3 duchies. That'll be a 3 pile. but I mean, that was honestly, I would expect my turn to end on 8 more often, certainly 9. But we went through this. We went through this entire. There was still a council room bottom decked, yeah. We just went through this whole shuffle with everything, the villages and the draw bottom decked. So there wasn't actually a lot we could do to speed it up at that point. It got a little scary, but anyway, very powerful kingdom, a lot of nice stuff to do. It could certainly go bad for you because the AI is buying some stuff. I think the artisans are pretty terrible. Honestly, this is not very good. This is pretty incoherent, but the AI, but that shuffle is just bad enough that it got scary. This is okay, but it's not really that scary. All right, well, thanks for watching. Catch y'all tomorrow.